A very good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television. It is a Monday morning and there's a lot that is making news. Let us start with the headlines. Heavy legislative agenda in both houses today. Triple Talaq Bill listed in Rajya Sabha. Joint Committee report on Citizenship Amendment Bill 2016 in both houses. BJP Congress issue whip to MPs in Lok Sabha. BJP forms 17 groups for Lok Sabha elections. Rajnath Singh to head a 20-member manifesto committee. Arun Jaitley in charge of publicity wing. Nitin Gadkari to lead the committee to reach out to social and volunteer organizations. Aadhaar, a game changer, says Finance Minister Arun Jaitley. Adds savings through implementing it can fund 3 public welfare schemes of the size of Ayushman Bharat. Law Minister says Aadhaar linking with driving licenses will be made mandatory soon. Chandrayaan-2 mission to be launched within 3 months. ISRO chairman says mission will land on unexplored part of the moon. Agency allotted nearly 11,000 crore rupees for developing 40 satellite launch vehicles in the next 4 years. And India get off to a good start at the AFC Asian Cup football tournament in Abu Dhabi. Beat Thailand 4-1 in the opening encounter. Play on 5th and final day of Sydney cricket test delayed due to rain. First up, news on winter session of Parliament. Well, 2 more sittings are left of the ongoing winter session of Parliament, and it is a day of heavy legislative business in both houses. In the upper house, 2 bills are slated for introduction. These include the National Commission for Indian System of Medicine Bill 2019 and the National Commission for Homeopathy Bill 2019. Apart from this, the Indian Medical Council Amendment Bill 2018 and the Arbitration and Conciliation Amendment Bill 2018, the Consumer Protection Bill 2018, the Representation of the People Amendment Bill 2018, the Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Marriage Bill 2018 and the Appropriation Number 6 Bill 2018 will be moved for consideration and passing. And in the Lok Sabha too, there is a heavy legislative business that includes the consideration of Rajya Sabha amendments of the National Council for Teacher Education Amendment Bill 2018 and the Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Amendment Bill 2018. Also for consideration and passage in the lower house is the DNA Technology Use and Application Regulation Bill 2018, the Personal Laws Amendment Bill 2018, the Dentists Amendment Bill 2017 and the National Medical Commission Bill 2017. The upper house is slated to take up the Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Marriage Bill 2018. The bill seeks to protect the rights of married Muslim women and prohibit divorce by pronouncing talaq by their husbands. The bill seeks to criminalize the practice of instant divorce and provides for a 3-year jail term for those found guilty of following the practice. There is also a provision for a fine. The bill has already been passed by the Lok Sabha. And in both houses today, the report of the Joint Committee on the Citizenship Amendment Bill 2016 will be laid. In the Rajya Sabha, Dr. Vinay P. Sehesrabuddhe and Swapan Das Gupta will lay on the table a copy of the report of the Joint Committee. The Joint Parliamentary Committee had finalized the report at its meeting on 3rd of January. The bill seeks to amend the Citizenship Act of 1955. It seeks to grant Indian nationality to the people belonging to minority communities, that is Sikhs, Hindus, Buddhists, Jains, Parsis and Christians in Afghanistan. Bangladesh and Pakistan, after 6 years of residence in India instead of 12, even if they don't possess any proper document. And in the Lok Sabha, the report of the Joint Committee will be tabled by Rajendra Agarwal and Bhartrihari Mahata. And in the Lok Sabha, discussion under Rule 193 is also slated on natural calamities in various parts of the country, particularly in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, with special reference to cyclones Gaja and Titli. Bhartrihari Mahatab and Dr. P. Venugopal are slated to initiate the discussion. Our colleague Kriti Mishra is now joining us live from Vijay Chowk in the national capital. A very good morning, Kriti. Kriti, now 2 more sittings are left as far as winter session of Parliament is concerned. And of course, there is a huge legislative agenda as far as upper house is concerned. And of course, the government will really be looking to get the triple talaq bill passed in the Rajya Sabha, because it is making a lot of attempts, to do that. And today that bill has been listed. So what can we expect in the upper house?
Well, Aishwarya, before the commencement of the winter session of Parliament, the government had said that it was its priority to get the anti-triple talaq bill passed by Parliament. Remember, the government had also promulgated the ordinance. Now, the opposition parties have said that they're not against the anti-triple talaq bill, but on the penal clause of it, as they are claiming that if the husband of the woman is imprisoned, who will take care of the family? Now, the government has made 3 very clear points. One, that it is for justice and equality of Muslim women. Secondly, that this bill is not aimed at victimizing any particular community. And also, in other cases, in the civil realm of offence, this argument is not given that what would happen to the family of the culprit. And the government has made its stance very clear that this is for justice and equality, and the penal clause is to serve as a strong deterrent against the practice of instant triple talaq. Remember, the Supreme Court had struck down this practice in August 2017, saying that it is unconstitutional and against the fundamental rights of Muslim women. The Supreme Court had also asked the government to come up with a law. The government had, in the earlier sessions, also brought in this bill, but there was no concurrence. The government is trying to evolve a consensus. So this particular bill sees the light of day. So it remains to be seen whether all the political parties come on board for the passage of this crucial bill. Aishwarya?
Right. And Kriti, as far as Lok Sabha is concerned, of course, in the Lok Sabha too, we can see that there is a heavy legislative business that includes the consideration of the Rajya Sabha amendments of the National Council for Teacher Education Amendment Bill, and also the right of children to free and compulsory education bill that is there. Of course, there is also a discussion on natural calamities under Rule 193.
Well, right, Aishwarya. So there's discussion under Rule 193 on natural calamities with special reference to Gaja and Titli. And as you've mentioned, that there are amendments that are moved by the Rajya Sabha that are expected to be taken up in the Lok Sabha on the National Council of Teachers Education Bill and the right of children to free and compulsory education bill. There are other important bills also lined up in the Lok Sabha. That is the National Medical Commission Bill, the Personal Laws Amendment Bill, and also the Dentist Amendment Bill. So important legislative agenda in the lower house as well. Aishwarya?
Right, Kriti. Thank you so much for all those updates there. And days after the Rafale debate in the Lok Sabha, Prime Minister Narendra Modi praised his ministers Nirmala Sitharaman and Arun Jaitley on giving a detailed response and placing facts before the people on the issue. Addressing booth workers of Andhra Pradesh Lok Sabha constituencies, he said that while the Congress party believes in looking in the name of every scheme, the BJP is working to protect each and every paisa of the country's money. Meanwhile, Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman also hit out at Rahul Gandhi after he accused Sitharaman of lying in Parliament on the Rafale jet deal issue. Gandhi tweeted a media report which claimed that not a single rupee of the said 1 lakh crore rupees went to the HAL, as not a single order from the Rafale deal has been signed till now. The media report cited senior HAL management officials in order to back its claim. And responding to the allegation, Sitharaman said that Gandhi's allegations are shameful as he is misleading the country without understanding the details of the Rafale deal. Sitharaman also tweeted the details of the contract awarded to HAL since 2014 when BJP came to power. And Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, or the HAL, has also responded to various media reports. The state-run aerospace major said that the orders for 83 light combat aircraft and 15 light combat helicopters were in advanced stages and that its finances are expected to improve. It also said that it had taken an overdraft of 962 crore rupees to meet its current requirements. The HAL's tweet came amid reports that it was forced to borrow money to pay salaries to its employees, triggering a war of words between the Congress and the BJP. On to some other news now. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has said that savings made through Aadhaar's implementation can fund 3 public welfare schemes of the magnitude of Ayushman Bharat. Terming Aadhaar as a game changer, Jaitley in a post said that its use in the delivery of subsidies has helped save 90,000 crore rupees in the last few years by eliminating several duplicate, non-existent and fake beneficiaries. He also attributed the successful implementation of Aadhaar to the decisive leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, saying that the Congress-led UPA remained half-hearted towards it because of its own contradictions and indecision. He said that Aadhaar helps in the elimination of middlemen and the benefits go directly to the bank accounts. Meanwhile, Union Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad has said that the government will soon make linking Aadhaar with the driving licenses as mandatory. Explaining the move, Prasad said that it would help cut down driving license duplication and would prevent offenders from escaping scot-free. And if the driving licenses are linked to Aadhaar, these incidences would almost be eliminated. Once a law is passed making Aadhaar driving license linking mandatory, it will become impossible to issue duplicate driving licenses, as Aadhaar is linked to a user's biometric data and any user applying for a duplicate license will be flagged. Ravi Shankar Prasad also said that the digital payment transactions in the country have increased to over 2,070 crore rupees in 2017-18. The centre has set up a high-level committee for the implementation of Clause 6 of the Assam Accord. The committee, headed by MP Bez Barua, is to submit its report within 6 months. The 9-member committee has been given a broad mandate and includes eminent Assamese persons from different fields. Among other things, it will examine the effectiveness of the actions taken since 1985 to implement Clause 6 of the Assam Accord. It will hold discussions with various stakeholders, including social organizations, legal and constitutional experts, eminent persons from the field of art, culture and literature, conservationists, economists, linguistics and sociologists. It will assess the appropriate level of reservation of seats in Assam Legislative Assembly and local bodies for the Assamese people. In Breakfast News, we'll take a very short break here. We'll be right back with more news.
Delhi's rich history and heritage is also a story of monuments marking the beginning of eras and kingdoms. One of the oldest such monuments is Qutb Minar, which marks the establishment of Delhi's Sultanate. Qutb Minar was commissioned by Qutbuddin Aibak, who laid the foundation of Mamluk dynasty rule in India. Nearly 73 meters to 40 feet high, this tower is built on the pattern of Victory Tower at Ghazni. It remains to this day one of the most spectacular buildings in India, dating to medieval era. The red sandstone minaret is divided into 5 stories, each of which has a balcony. The view from its top, now rare, once overlooked the old walls and the ruins spread over the vast expanse of plains in Delhi. While the construction began in 1192 AD, Qutbuddin Aibak didn't live long enough to see it completed. The minar was eventually completed in 1220 by his successor Iltutmish.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
Welcome back after the break. Vice President Venkaiah Naidu on a Sunday presented the Thread of Excellence Awards to 17 people for their outstanding contribution in the field of textile sector. Speaking at the event, Naidu said that the textile sector should focus on improving quality and not tapping opportunities in global market should not be the case. He said that the need of innovation and adoption of new technology in the sector is very important.
On its part, the industry should focus on innovation and value addition for improving global competitiveness of the Indian textiles and apparels. Innovation is the key. Innovation is the way forward. We have to come up with innovative and exclusive products if we have to expand our footprint in the global arena.
And the BJP has announced formation of 17 groups for its preparations for the Lok Sabha polls. Party President Amit Shah announced the formation of these groups. Rajnath Singh will head a 20-member committee for the party's manifesto. Arun Jaitley, Nirmala Sitharaman, Ravi, Shankar, Prasad, Kiran Rijiju are among the members of this committee tasked with preparing the party's manifesto. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley will lead the publicity wing of the party for the general elections. Union Minister Nitin Gadkari will head a 17-member committee to reach out to social and volunteer organizations, while his cabinet colleague Sushma Swaraj will preside over a group that will produce literature for the polls. Prasad will head the party's media group, while Union Minister Prakash Javadekar will lead the wing which will organize meetings of intellectuals. All parties' national spokespersons will be part of its media committee to be headed by Ravi Shankar Prasad. A committee will deal with the tours of a party's leaders, another with the social media, while a third group, whose 13 members include Party General Secretary Saroj Pandey, will reach out to the beneficiaries of various government schemes. And BJP President Amit Shah has attacked Congress leaders on the National Herald case, addressing booth workers rally in Silvassa. Amit Shah said that Rahul and Sonia Gandhi tried to evade 600 crore rupees in income tax and had sought to illegally register public property worth crores in their name. Shah said that while Gandhi's entire family lineage were mired in corruption, there was not a single blot on Narendra Modi. He said that the BJP government under Modi started offering 1.5 times estimated production cost to farmers after coming to power, while Congress government lacked courage to raise the income of farmers.
4 पीढ़ी तक आपने शासन किया, देश को अंधेरे से मुक्त नहीं कर पाए, देश को धुएं से मुक्त नहीं कर पाए, देश को रोग से मुक्त नहीं कर पाए, देश को निरक्षरता से मुक्त नहीं कर पाए, देश को कनेक्टिविटी नहीं दे पाए आप, और हमारा हिसाब मांगते हो। हमने तो 5 साल के अंदर देश के हर क्षेत्र में, चाहे वो आदिवासी के लिए हो, चाहे दलित के लिए हो, गांव के लिए हो, शहर के लिए हो, किसान हो या उद्योगपति हो, हर क्षेत्र के लिए काम करने का प्रयास किया है।
And Prime Minister of Norway, Erna Solberg, arrived in New Delhi today on a 3-day state visit to India. She was received by Minister of State for External Affairs V.K. Singh. During the visit, Solberg will hold talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. She will also call on President Ram Nath Kovind and Vice President Venkaiah Naidu. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj will also call on the visiting dignitary. Prime Minister of Norway will deliver the inaugural address at the Raisina Dialogue and will address India-Norway Business Summit. The Ministry of External Affairs said that the visit will provide an opportunity to review the progress in bilateral cooperation between the two countries and discuss ways to further expand the multifaceted partnership in areas of common interest. And the Supreme Court will continue hearing a plea seeking urgent stops to rescue 15 miners trapped inside a flooded illegal coal mine in Meghalaya today. In its last hearing on the matter on Friday, the Supreme Court directed the centre to place a status report on the steps taken so far to rescue the miners trapped in the mine and said that the government was free to take action against the owners of illegal mines. Meanwhile, the rescue operations were halted on Sunday after two high-powered pumps engaged in dewatering did not operate the whole day after developing technical glitches. Divers from the Indian Navy and the NDRF were unable to gauge the water level inside the main shaft as it was beyond the safe diving limit of 100 feet. International news now. At least 30 people have been killed in the collapse of a gold mine in northeastern Afghanistan. The collapse occurred in the Kohistan district of Badakhshan province. Villagers had reportedly dug a 220 feet deep but makeshift shaft in a river bed to hunt for gold, and they were caught in its collapse. At least 7 other people were injured, and locals rushed to the scene and managed to rescue only 13 workers. Remember, Afghanistan has vast resources of minerals, but many of the mines are old and poorly maintained, creating severe safety issues. And here is a look at other international developments in World Wrap. Sheikh Hasina will be sworn in as the new Prime Minister of Bangladesh today. This comes following her party's sweeping victory in the 11th parliamentary elections, which were held across the country on 30th of December. Hasina, along with her new cabinet, will take oath after Bangladesh's President Abdul Hamid formally invited her to form the government for a third straight term. The 11th Parliament will go into the session when the incumbent Parliament's term expires on 28th of January. A US trade delegation has arrived in Beijing for talks with their Chinese counterparts about how to ease their months-long trade spat. The group will hold 2 days of talks beginning today, focusing on how to best carry out an agreement reached by US President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping to postpone new tariff hikes. US officials have said that if the talks fail to produce a satisfactory agreement, Washington will increase the tariffs on $200 billion of Chinese goods from 10% to 25%. British Prime Minister Theresa May said on Sunday that Britain would be in uncharted territory if the Brexit deal is rejected by Parliament later this month. Britain is due to leave the European Union on 29th of March, but May's inability so far to get her deal for a managed exit through Parliament has led to fears that the country is headed for a damaging no-deal Brexit. May said that the vote in Parliament would be held on around 15th of January. May has already delayed the vote once in December. Yellow Vest protesters clashed with police in several French cities, smashing their way into a government ministry in Paris with a forklift. The Interior Ministry put the number of protesters who took to the streets on Saturday at 50,000. Government spokesperson Benjamin Ravi, who was evacuated from his ministry in central Paris when a handful of protesters in high-visibility vests smashed down the large wooden door to the ministry compound, denounced the break-in as an unacceptable attack on the Republic. Sports news now. The fourth and final test between India and Australia is delayed due to rain. Australia will resume its second innings from their overnight score of 6 runs for no loss after the rain delayed the match. Opener Usman Khawaja and Marcus Harris will start the play. Earlier on day 4, India bundled out Australia for 300 runs in the first innings and enforced the follow-on. The Australian side is still trailing India by 316 runs. For Australia, Marcus Harris was the highest scorer in the first innings with his knock of 79 runs, while Marnus Labuschagne scored 38 runs. For India, Kuldeep Yadav was the pick of the bowlers as he took a 5-wicket haul, while Mohammad Shami and Ravindra Jadeja took 2 wickets each. India is leading the 4-match series 2-1 and is looking to create history by winning the first ever test series on the Australian soil. And skipper Virat Kohli is just a win away to put himself ahead of former skipper Sourav Ganguly's record of 11 overseas test wins. And in football, India made a winning start to its opening match of the AFC Football Asian Cup. The men in blue defeated Thailand 4-1 at Abu Dhabi to kickstart their campaign. Anirudh Thapa and Jeje scored 1 goal each, while Indian skipper Sunil Chhetri struck twice to help India seal the victory. With the 2 goals in the match, Chhetri also became the second highest international goal scorer among active players, surpassing Lionel Messi, while for Thailand, Tirasil Dangda was the only goal scorer. And in another match, Jordan defeated Australia 1-0 in the opening match of the tournament, while the game between Syria and Palestine ended in a goalless draw. In today's matches, China will face Kyrgyzstan in the first match of the day. South Korea will face Philippines, while Iran will take on Yemen in the third game. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.